Hey, this is going to be a SmackDown review for the 10th of April, and in my opinion, this was a very good episode of SmackDown. In the build-up to WrestleMania, Raw took over everything. It took over all the major storylines, all the twists and turns took place on Raw, to the extent that you didn't even have to watch SmackDown to know what was going on in the WWE. Now, hopefully this episode is a sign that they're once again paying due care and attention to SmackDown, and that it'll again become the best show in the WWE. Having said that, there were a lot of Raw wrestlers on the show. There was Kofi Kingston, Santino, John Cena, Priceless. So the show was galvanized by a lot of Raw talent. Yeah. On that note, I think it's rather an odd time for the WWE to release their new show, WWE Superstars, because surely the whole appeal of that show is the fact that you're getting wrestlers from different brands wrestling against each other. We're seeing that all the time right now. We don't really need that show right now. Do that in 6 months and then it'll be really novel, but whatever. First thing to know about this episode of SmackDown is that Todd Grisham has replaced Taz on commentary. Now, JR intimates that they might not be together next week due to the draft, and I think we all hope this is true because no one wants to see Todd Grisham get higher in this company. He really, his performance on ECW on play-by-play does not merit you know, going up in the company. But anyway, the show starts with Matt Hardy coming out, and a Matt Hardy promo at the top of the show would usually be an indication of a terrible episode of SmackDown. But this was a really surprisingly good promo by Matt. This was the best promo I've ever seen him done. I don't know why you couldn't have done a promo this good before WrestleMania. It would have made that match so much better, but whatever. Basically says the WrestleMania moment everyone will remember is when Matt beat Jeff to prove he was the superior Hardy. He says that he is not satisfied and he's going to attempt to erase Jeff from the WWE forever because there isn't room for two Hardys in the company. And he says that Jeff should come out and apologise to all his fans for being such a failure, and come out and apologise to Matt for being such a bad brother. This was a great promo. It got a lot of heel heat, and it actually got a lot of face support for Jeff Hardy. He got a big pop for the first time in a while. Even at WrestleMania, his pop wasn't that big. But Matt did a good job in inciting the crowd to the extent they really wanted Jeff to come out. Jeff comes down to the ring, chases Matt out of the ring, seems to pull his hamstring in the process, don't know what that was all about. Then Teddy Long comes out. For those of you who don't watch ECW, Teddy Long is now the new GM of SmackDown, and he swiftly botches his first promo as GM of SmackDown. Basically mixes up a load of words. The gist of his promo is that Matt and Jeff could be separated in the draft, so they should have the match tonight, and it should be a stretcher match. That's basically what he says. Yeah, which I was looking forward to. Anyway, then we had Kofi Kingston backstage on the mic, and he did quite a good promo here. He talked about his youth in Jamaica, actually Uganda, but whatever. His youth in Jamaica when he thought about how he was going to steal the show, how he could steal the show at WrestleMania, just like Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon did, and basically intimated that he had done that at WrestleMania 25. And he did deliver a good performance at WrestleMania 25, so that's fair enough. And he says tonight he's going to once again attempt to shock the world by beating the Big Show. And the next match is the Big Show versus Kofi Kingston, and this was a good match. Kofi Kingston can make anyone have a good match. At the start, Kofi Kingston tries some handstand things. I don't know what that was all about. Then we get that period where Big Show dominates. He does what appeared to be like a $1 million dream throw, and then he does some other stuff, you know, punches and slaps and all that stuff. Kofi comes back, gets some momentum with a lot of kicks, drop kicks. He goes for the mounted punching thing, you know, where he jumps up in the corner and starts punching them, but Big Show threw him over. He also hits the Fulcrum City Blues, Kofi. That move Christian does where you put your foot through the ropes and then kick them in the face. He also does his leg drop thing. This match had a good ending. Kofi goes to the top rope for a crossbody and Big Show catches him with the knockout punch. which all looked rather good. 1, 2, 3, Big Show wins, but Kofi, it's not a squash match, and Kofi doesn't disgrace himself. In fact, you could say he got a lot more offense in than John Cena did on Raw a few weeks ago when Big Show beat him, but so that's good. Next we have Santino come out, as Santino, not Santina, and he talks about the jealousy from the WWE Divas about his sister Santina, and how the men should also be jealous of him because of his in-ring prowess. And on that note, he invites anyone out for an open challenge. The Great Khali's music plays, and Ranjan Singh talks for the first time in about 6 months, and says that, Santino, you don't have to fight the Great Khali tonight, so long as you will get him a kiss from your beautiful sister Santina, because the Great Khali thinks she's hot. This was pretty funny, to be honest. Santino, of course, is hilarious on the mic, and the fact that Great Khali can't talk for some unknown reason is also pretty funny. Santino basically says a few things like, you'd probably eat her, and your breath smells bad because you smoke cigarettes and it'll stunt your growth and stuff like that. Which leads to an actual match, which is one of the worst matches I've ever seen. Great Khali picks up Santino in a terrible Punjabi plunge. And you know the Punjabi plunge is a bad move to begin with. For it to be, an actual bad Punjabi plunge, it was just embarrassing. But that gets 3 count, and Santino will forever be a comedy character. And that's probably good news. Then we had Gail Kim versus Michelle McCool, possibly the 2 best female wrestlers in the company, and this was not a good match at all. They botched almost everything. Nothing seemed to make contact. Well, I know things aren't supposed to make contact, a lot of things, but nothing even looked like it made contact. The best thing about this match was Gail Kim took a bit of a bump, but even that was botched because she was supposed to hit the ring post more, I think, before going over. But she took a little bit of a bump to the outside. It ended, the end pretty much summed up the whole match. Gail Kim went for a drop kick, landed on her back. Michelle McCool covered her, and Gail Kim reversed it into another pin combination, but it wasn't like a roll up or anything. It was just like, a military press pin. It was nothing special at all, and that got the victory. I haven't seen that weak a pinfall since, when Owen Hart temporarily paralyzes Stone Cold Steve Austin with the pile driver, and Steve Austin has to do a cover and win the match. That's the last time I saw a cover as weak as this. This was terrible. This was a really bad match and embarrassing because they're both good wrestlers. Then we had the Cutting Edge with guest star John Cena. This was a really long promo, but it was actually rather good. It started off kind of slow. John Cena just playing up to the crowd. Edge also playing up to the crowd by pretending he didn't care what they thought. Edge says that John Cena's ruined his life by stealing his title. John Cena says that Edge could have come out here and talked about their history and talked about how they have one of the most storied rivalries in WWE history, but instead he came out and moaned. And then Edge does an hilarious bit where he's like, I hate you, I hate your cap, I hate your music. I'm pretty sure all of that is true. I do hate his cap and his music. But then they talk about the Last Man Standing match at Backlash, and this is a good build-up to that match. And John Cena talks about how you may be a better wrestler than me. Yeah, I think he is. But I'm tougher than you, and that's why I'm going to beat you, and that's why you hate me. And, for me, when John Cena isn't ruining an episode for me, then it's a good episode.